Hello and welcome to Is It Accessible? My name is Ellen and welcome to another Total Access Chat. You guys have probably been listening to my voice going over the accessibility of rides and wondering how you can go on getting these sultry vocals for free when you feel like you should be paying 20 cents a minute for it. While you can absolutely send me 20 cents a minute on Patreon or like and subscribe so I can get ad money, I thought I'd get personal so you could get to know the person behind the dark chocolate river that is my voice. Here's a picture of me. Probably one of the only ones that I'll give you because I think my face looks like the human personification of a poorly aging pothole. The topic for today is Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I've had Obsessive Compulsive Disorder for a really long time but didn't realize what it was until recent years. For those of you who don't have OCD or only know about it through TV shows and movies, you might be wondering how I scampered through life without knowing it. OCD is kind of like ice cream that tastes like that feeling where you don't know if you remembered to turn your oven off. There are a lot of different flavors and toppings, and you can mix and match for your very own personal brand of mental torment. Most people are probably familiar with people struggling with OCD who feel a compulsive need to clean, whether it be their hands or their surroundings or keeping things perfectly in line, since that's what's generally shown in the media. While these people definitely exist, there are so many different kinds out there. There are people that have to check their alarms, locks, doors, ovens, over and 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 over. Some people can't exit rooms or finish a task without it looking or feeling just right. Others literally can't step on cracks or answer phones or leave their houses because they're terrified something awful will happen if they do. There are also these lovely little sprinkles called invasive thoughts that sneak into your brain no matter what you do. You could be sunbathing on the white sands of your favorite beach, slathered in enough suntan lotion to drown a hamster, and bam! That thought hits your brain harder than Gallagher smashing a watermelon, and you find yourself trapped in that thought and spiraling rapidly towards a panic attack. The worst part is that all of these things that you have to do, all of these thoughts you have, the fears you experience, most people with OCD know that these things are utterly ridiculous, but your brain won't let you do anything if you don't complete some sort of ritual or task. People will tell you, just don't think about it. Just don't do the task. Just don't worry about it. And they have no idea that if you don't get this thing done just right, you'll have the equivalent of a shrieking toddler that's been sucking helium for the last 5 minutes sitting at the back of your head and only you can hear it. It's maddening. For me, I have a couple of different flavors. I have one scoop of checking compulsions where I have to check my alarm clock over and over. If I have to use it, I check it anywhere from 2 to 50 times before I fall asleep and then wake up almost every hour to check and recheck throughout the night. I have to check locks, doors, ovens, and appliances. If I leave my house and the thought bubbles up that maybe I didn't check thoroughly enough or the thought pops up that I might be wrong, I have to turn around and get back to my house because my brain is screaming that my home is probably a blazing inferno already and it's all my fault. I even have to check facts that I already know. I once had to check my ID in a piece of mail because I was convinced that I might have my own address wrong. And did I tell the clerk the wrong address on my ID while I was on the phone to make an appointment to see someone for obsessive compulsive checking? Tasty. I have one scoop of inescapable room syndrome, which is where I can't exit a room unless I feel just right, and it's only one room. The bathroom. This should be a cherished, quiet place where I sit on the can and enjoy games on my phone or read a book or watch a YouTube video, but no. When I head to the bathroom, I use the facilities and step over the threshold. If I'm lucky, I feel good and I can proceed. If not, my brain starts screaming that I still have to pee, whether I actually do or not, and have to return to the toilet where I am trapped until I can successfully pee again and then attempt to leave. Now, if I get lucky and my brain is nice and quiet, my bladder having been fully relieved, if I don't make it to my destination quick enough, I have to go back. For example, I would like to go to sleep. If I exit the bathroom successfully and don't make it to the bed and get in and under my blankets within about a minute, I have to go back. Believe me, I have hunkered down in that bed and told my brain that it can take a hike. We're going to bed, but my brain will not stop until I get back up and try again. I have another scoop of compulsive need to complete tasks. This is anything from work given to me by an employer to my own to-do list, which is mind-numbingly awful if your brain decides to queue up a to-do list while you're on vacation and the only thing you can think about is scrubbing down your kitchen counter while you are hundreds of miles away from said kitchen counter. Finally, we have the joyful sprinkles of obsessive thoughts. My specific brand of obsessive thoughts is about dying. This can happen to me at any time, but it's agitated by anything from funerals to TV shows to movies where death is a focus for any extended period of time. Until I got treated, I couldn't read a book, play a game, or write without it jumping into the forefront of my brain and forcing me to imagine what it's like to die or screaming that I'm going to die soon and I need to do something. Every ounce of enjoyment was sucked out of my hobbies. Oh, I also have some touch issues where if my skin comes into contact with certain textures or sometimes even other people's skin, it feels like it's still there long after it's no longer touching me until I scrub it all off. All of this makes for a perfect obsessive compulsive Sunday. That's all the time I've got for this one. If you have OCD or someone you know has it, feel free to share your stories in the comments section. It's always nice to know there are other people out there. Thanks for watching.